BYD has claimed the title of world's best-selling EV maker in a pretty hard-fought battle with Tesla. Now that 2023 results are in for both companies, we can see just how fierce a race it was. Both companies beat analyst estimates for the numbers of EVs that they sold in the final 3 months of last year, and both of them benefited from cutting prices on their vehicles in a bid to grab market share. So let's take a look at the numbers first. BYD sold a little more than 3 million vehicles last year, mostly here in China. More than half of them were pure electric, and the rest were plug-in hybrid EVs. That puts annual sales up by 62% compared to 2022. Tesla, on the other hand, sold 1.8 million vehicles, falling just short of the CEO, Elon Musk's target of 2 million. But it still beat analyst estimates. And in the most recent quarter, Tesla delivered 484,507 pure EVs between October and December, while BYD sold 526,409. So how did BYD overtake Tesla before that year-end finish line? Partly it's the price war, which has been going on in the EV sector, particularly here in China for the last 12 months. Tesla started it last January by slashing prices on several models, and every other automaker had to follow suit. But it quickly became pretty obvious that Tesla wasn't going to win that price war. Even with generous discounts, its cars are just more expensive. Each model is a premium product. And while BYD has high-end models of its own, it also has cheaper ones. And with most of the world dealing with some high interest rates this year, a cheaper car, which therefore requires a smaller loan from the bank, can look a lot more attractive. And some analysts have also said that tax credits in the US may have pushed some Tesla buyers to get their cars in 2023 instead of 2024. BYD is also just generally a better recognized brand these days. Tesla is still definitely a byword for pure electric cars, but all over the world, more and more BYDs are popping up on the roads. For big chunks of last year, BYD models were the best-selling EVs in Thailand, in Israel, New Zealand, and in Singapore. And during a trip back to Australia recently, I was shocked when my family started discussing the brand over Christmas dinner. That aside, BYD's position on top of the EV market right now is still due to sales here in China. Roughly 90% of its cars are made and sold here, where its market share jumped from 21 to 27% last year. According to the China Passenger Car Association, Tesla's market share in China is 12%. The two have also got very different sales strategies. BYD is quite traditional, selling through dealerships. In fact, BYD said it's going to be paying out a total of 2 billion yuan in bonuses to Chinese dealerships this year for meeting their 2023 sales targets. Tesla does things very differently. If you want to buy one, you can only buy it from Tesla, and their staff seem to do a much better job of selling the product. According to data from China Merchants Bank, in China, Tesla sells more than twice as many cars per store as BYD does. BYD just has considerably more stores. BYD's China-centered dominance, though, could start to shift a little once the company gets its planned European factories up and running. There are a lot of prospective customers for it in Europe. There is, though, a little bit of a risk that Europe could raise the currently low tariffs on imported Chinese EVs. But the electric vehicle sector is still a growing one in which both BYD and Tesla have left traditional automakers far behind. Oh, and in case you're wondering, there is one number that Tesla didn't give us yet: sales numbers for its new Cybertruck. The design of that truck might be politely described as unique. So silence on those sales numbers probably tells us all we need to know.